Hello. Welcome to another episode of Pinstripe Talk. I am your host, Anthony, and we will be going over everything in the world of the New York Yankees, like always. Now, it's been a few weeks since I've discussed Yankee baseball, but it's been a few good weeks of Yankee baseball. They have proven once again my long-standing theory that they're baseball's best team. And I don't say that lightly because, the Yankees have to compete with the Dodgers and the Astros as the best team in baseball. But, you saw what happened. You saw the Yankees went into Los Angeles, played in L.A., and took 2 out of 3. And I know the whole thing of they should have won this game, this and that is kind of a cop-out answer, but they honestly should have won that second game against the Dodgers. Major League Baseball even told the Yankees that the umpires were wrong. Gleyber should have scored, and the Yankees should have tied the game and had a chance to win it. So they should have won that second game. But regardless, they did take 2 out of 3 from, at that point, the best team in baseball. And they really proved that they are a force to be reckoned with. Now, the Yankees have... The Yankees, despite playing in Oakland, and they've never played well in Oakland. They did get swept 3 games by the A's. Despite that, even despite that, the Yankees have a .600 winning percentage against good teams, over 500 teams. That is remarkable. That's the best record in baseball against teams over 500. I think they're 37-24. That's over 600 baseball. That is truly dominating against good teams. Now, when this team was reeling back in April, when they were losing, was seen to beat 2 guys every day, when Andujar went down, and Stanton, and even Judge, and Severino, and Betances, and when everyone was just dropping like flies, they played the Astros, and the Astros swept the Yankees. Cut to last month, and the Yankees take 3 out of 4 from the Astros at home. So, for anyone saying that the Yankees don't play well against the good teams because they got swept in Oakland, that's just an asinine and uneducated statement. Just watch the games. Do you not watch the games? Yes. Oakland was not fun. It was a 3-game sweep. Those are never fun. But do you forget that this team, it has a record of, I believe, and yes, I'm correct now, 87-47. Now, feel free to check my math, but that is tied for the best record in baseball with the Dodgers. And not only that, but we're getting better because Gary came off the IL and is playing like Gary. Voit is returning from his sports hernia on Friday, so we have reinforcements at first base. We have Gleyber playing like Joe DiMaggio, who now leads the team in home runs with 33. Didi has been out for a little bit with that hit by pitch when Kershaw hit him in the shoulder on the last game of the Dodgers series, but he'll be back soon enough, so no need to worry about Didi. Our third baseman is going to be either LeMahieu or Shella, which right now I'd want it to be LeMahieu the way Gio's hitting. He's not hitting quite well. As well as he was, but you're asking a guy to hit 400, and no, he's not hitting 400, he's hitting 300 now, so I'm fine with Gio. But I probably would play LeMahieu at first base if you're giving me a playoff roster. I'd play LeMahieu at first base, and I'd try DHing Voit or Encarnacion and playing Gio at third. But anyway, you have Gio at third or LeMahieu. The outfield, you have Stanton. Stanton just took Just took live batting practice yesterday in Seattle. Coming off his PCL injury. So he could be seeing live pitches soon. But as of right now, it's going to be Gardner out there. I'm sorry, or Tauchman or Maben, because Hicks is hurt in center field. And Gardner will be back playing center field. Hicks, I haven't heard much word on. He had an elbow injury. I mean, he's throwing currently, but word on Hicks is kind of scarce at this point. So I'm not going to say Aaron Hicks is definitely going to come back soon, but hopefully we'll see him soon enough. And we have the big man in right field, Aaron Judge, who, for all the criticism, for all the people who said that Aaron Judge is this is who Aaron Judge is. He's a streaky kind of ball player. He's not top 10 player in baseball. He's not the best player in the Yankees. That is another knee-jerk, uneducated reaction to poor play. Everybody slumps. Babe Ruth slumped. Mike Trout slumps. And yes, Aaron Judge slumps. And he slumped. And he didn't play well for about a month. But boy, as he turns it on. He just hit his 100th career home run, third fastest in the history of baseball to ever reach that mark, third behind only his teammate Gary Sanchez and former Phillies first baseman Ryan Howard. So it just shows how good a career Aaron Judge has had to this point. He is head and shoulders above everybody else in this team as far as their play goes. He is a Gold Glove caliber right fielder. He had a bad slump, so his batting average is about 275 right now. But I think he's a 285, 290 hitter who has 50 homer power. The one big issue with Judge is can he stay on the field? In the past 2 seasons, he's been a little banged up. But when he's playing, he's great. And that's the player I know. That's the player that the Yankees know. That's the player that he is. So, I mean, it's frightening. It's frightening. And also, Severino's coming back. Severino is making a rehab start in AAA on Sunday. So we could have our ace returning for the playoff push. Dylan Betances has been throwing. I believe he is close to a rehab assignment as well. He threw a simulated game today, actually, in Tampa. And he'll face hitters again on Saturday. Jordan Montgomery is going to start for the Rail Riders, Scranton, on a Friday. That's a name you haven't heard in a while, Jordan Montgomery. So there is some good news on some injury fronts. Bad news, those Players Weekend jerseys were horrible. That's the bad news. I mean, I'm just going to vent a little bit for a second. How on earth? The Dodgers were wearing all white uniforms. It looked like a bunch of Oreos playing baseball with the Yankees and Dodgers in their blacks and whites. It was ridiculous. I mean, regardless of the black hat that the Dodgers pitcher had to wear so the hitters could see the ball. The ball is white. Your entire uniform is white. Doesn't have to throw it over. It's. I just think it's ridiculous. They looked awful. I mean, Players Weekend is fun and everything. I love the nicknames and the whole aspect of it, and the cool bats and the cool cleats and everything. But geez, tighten that up. It's horrible. I would have loved. Wouldn't you have loved to have seen the crisp Dodger blue uniform? That classic uniform that's been around since Brooklyn, playing against the iconic Yankee pinstripes. That's something I would love to have seen. Those two teams, they've played each other, I think, 15 times in regular season play. They played each other more in the World Series than they've done that in the regular season. They've played each other 15 times, I believe, right in the regular season. And I would have loved to have seen that classic Yankee gray, the road gray, versus that classic Dodger blue. But Players Weekend happened, and they gave us crappy uniforms. But whatever, I digress. What the Yankees should be focusing on, aside from the bad uniforms, is the fact that the playoffs are coming. They're going to the playoffs. They're going to win the division pretty handedly, and they have to prepare for the playoffs. Now, with the aforementioned guys I mentioned, like Stanton, Severino, Betances, Voit, Encarnacion, Hicks, it's a lot of players that have to come back, and and that's going to displace the guys that got them there. You're not going to see Mike Ford on the postseason roster. You're probably not going to see Cameron Maybin on the postseason roster. And that's it sucks. When everyone went down, next man up, Urshela, who will be on the postseason roster, but guys like Maybin, Tauchman, Mike Ford, Thairo Estrada, even guys like Breivik Valera. It was a very difficult time in Yankee land, and they picked it up. They really stood up and said, "I'll do it," and they did it well. And it's going to be hard to see those guys replaced by the Giancarlo Stantons of the world, the Luke Voits. Luke Voigt's been playing well all season, but still, Luke Voit. Is it unfair? Yeah, but that's baseball. The guys who are paid to do it went down, and other guys come up. When they come back, they come back. So while it seems unfair, it's the way it should be going. And we thank them. If we get a ring, then they get a ring. But hey, even I could see Jay Happ being left off this roster. So, and probably he should, because come playoff time, Yankees really don't need 5 starters. You need about 3, maybe a 4th. So let's say Severino and Betances come back, right? The way the 25-man roster looks right now, we have Herman, Happ, Paxton, Tanaka, and Sabathia. Now, you know Herman's going to make it. Paxton and Tanaka probably going to make it too. Happ, probably not so much. You probably fill one of those up with Severino. I don't think Cess is going to make it. Of the guys right now in the Major League roster, Corey Guerin is not going to make it. And maybe not Nestor Cortez Jr., although you could use another lefty. I mean, you need Romine, you need Gary, you need Didi and LeMahieu and Torres or Shella. You don't need Wade. It's going to be a balancing act. And it will be unfair to some. But that's how you roll the dice. That's how it all unfolds. Speaking of the playoffs, to give you a postseason picture right now, if the season were to end on this date, which it won't, Yankees win the division. Twins win their division in the Central. The Astros win their division in the West. The 2 wildcard teams would be Cleveland and Oakland, which, if I'm giving a prediction, I think it's going to go that way. I honestly believe that the Rays will not make the playoffs and that Oakland will. Not just because Oakland kicked our butt. Because I think that the players who the Rays really had to spark their beginning of the season to really push them this far are kind of tapering off. They traded for Jesus Aguilar, and he had a great season with the Brewers. I have his autograph. I met him. He's a very nice human being, big man. But in 20 games with the Rays, he has a homer. Yeah, he's batting .298, but he has 1 home run. He's not the player that the Rays thought they'd be getting. Austin Meadows still playing well, but not playing like he was at the beginning of the season. If they had Tyler Glass now, It might be a different story, but Tyler Glass now is hurt and out for the year. Charlie Morton gave up 8 runs yesterday against Houston.